Hello everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, a weekly video series in which we quickly sum up our game reviews from the past week at GamingUnion.net. My name is Brian, and I'm here with Nikki.
On The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly, or GBF, we give short descriptions and our basic verdict of each game we've reviewed in the last 7 days. These shows will be short and to the point, and if you want more info on any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full review on GamingUnion.net.
This episode will be summing up our game reviews from April 23rd to the 29th, 2011. If you think about fighting games, there are few more iconic franchises than Mortal Kombat, and the new installment is here on the PS3 and 360. What's new to this installment is a story that is well fleshed out and adds a tremendous amount to the experience. Don't get us wrong, the story is absolutely absurd, but its implementation was perfect alongside the gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, this version of Mortal Kombat focused on making sure that each character was different and that their moveset was unique to their story. After getting the hang of the controls, players will be executing deadly combos on their opponents in no time. If single player isn't enough for you, then you can jump online to play one of several different game modes. The presentation, from the graphics, the character models, the animation, audio, and special effects are all top shelf and have been honed to a razor edge. NetherRealm Studios took the fan feedback from the previous games and actually listened. Their attention to detail has made this an incredible experience and one that we feel is worthy of a 9 out of 10. If you're a fan of the franchise and you haven't already picked this up, make sure you do so.
It's time to pull your 3DS out so that you can get yourself a good dose of the Rayman Rabbids in Ubisoft's newest title, Raving Rabbids Travel in Time. The story is relatively simple, as all the Rabbids games are. You come across a time machine that allows you to travel to different locations and time periods. The gameplay mechanics are simple and easy to get into, sans the swimming mechanic, which can be a bit glitchy. Even though there are only 4 worlds, each level is truly unique and you will not see the same thing twice. The same goes for the graphics that remain rock solid and the frame rate, which is great all the way through. The 3D elements, while not intrusive, also don't add much to the experience. The audio is fun and changes depending on what world you're currently on. Our biggest complaint is that the game is far too short and will only last a couple of hours for the basic experience. Players can return to completed levels to complete mini objectives, but it's not the same as having new levels to play through. The game had potential, but we feel that it never tried to go beyond its very simple premise, and for that, we deem it worthy of a 6 out of 10. If you love the Rabbids, you will most likely already have this. If you're on the fence though, give it a rent before you buy it.
Even though Nintendo hasn't brought us a Mario game for the 3DS yet, they have just released a new game called Steel Diver. You will play as part of an elite group of submariners and are tasked with navigating different hostile areas. Unfortunately, the story is pretty much non-existent. The controls are simple enough as Steel Diver is a side-scrolling game and you must avoid as many obstacles as possible. While the game starts out insultingly easy, towards the end, players will be using every ounce of their cunning to make it out of the hostile waters alive. Aside from the main mission mode, there are other gameplay modes that players can try, including a multiplayer option. Graphically, the game isn't amazing or groundbreaking, but the 3D effect is a nice touch. Steel Diver is a fun game, but one that will lose its appeal after the first playthrough, and we feel it deserves a 6 out of 10. There is fun to be had here, to be sure, but maybe not for the full price Nintendo is asking for. And that wraps up this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly. We have an exciting list of reviews for next week, so make sure to check back in. If you want more info on any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full reviews on GamingUnion.net.
Be sure to subscribe to our different podcast feeds to keep up to date on all our shows. Just search for Gaming Union on iTunes, or you can download the episodes directly off of GamingUnion.net.
If you have comments, suggestions, or discussion points, feel free to join us on the forums or follow us on Twitter. Our account is twitter.com/GamingUnion. Until next time, my name is Brian.
And I'm Nikki.
And this has been a GamingUnion.net and TweaksMusic.com production.